conjurer so many times that the librarian said, "Would you like to do a show for the Story Hour?" His answer was yes. He got out his coffee cans and his artificial flowers from Woolworths and did his first show. That was almost 50 years ago. And now, after 35 years of teaching and nearly 50 years of magic, here we are doing the magic of books. We're at a school this morning. We hope you'll join us for the show, and we hope, too, that you'll come back afterwards. Backstage, we'll share these books with you and the magic of books.
Today, coming back for the second time for this magic show is Mr. Hargraves. Let's give him a hand. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Sousa. Good morning, boys and girls. What a good way to start a day, huh? But not quite better than reading. Is that what you usually have first thing in the morning? Well, we're going to have some reading this morning, too. We're going to talk about some books. All different kinds of books. New books and old books and in-between books. And the first one I want to mention is a favorite one of mine. It's called A Chinese Zoo. And it's by someone called Demi. And you may have read some of Demi's books before. They're beautiful. And on every page, there is a story. So you kids in the 5th grade, if your teacher says that she or he would like you to read 13 stories for homework and to do book reports on them tomorrow, this is the book to get, because every page is a new story. This is the story here. And then there's a picture in the middle, and it's on a fan, like this one. I can always be sure of getting your attention with this fan. I'm going to leave one for every teacher to use. All right? This is the story, and this is what the story is about. And if you look closely at the pictures, you can tell what this story is about. Would you look at these pictures? Who can tell me what this story is about? What are the pictures showing you?
Monkeys.
Monkeys, that's right. You don't have any monkeys in your class, do you, Shane? No, not a one. Anyway, this is a story about monkeys. And it's called A Chinese Zoo. And the thing I like about this story, boys and girls, is that underneath it says the lesson for the story. You know, like Aesop's fables, they have a moral. The lesson for this one is things are not always what they seem. And that is what magic is all about. And that's what we're going to prove to you today. Now, the other thing I have to mention is that I'm going to be needing some helpers to come up to help. Is there anyone here willing to come up and, oh, good, oh, good. I'll tell you what, put your hands down. I will choose the quietest, sitting up nicest, sitting on your seatest and not on your feetest, smile on your facest, and an answer in your mind. Now, let me tell you what the answers are going to be. Let me show you what I mean. This is a very simple test. We're going to use old books, new books, and in-between books. For instance, this is the oldest book. It's almost 100 years old. Not this particular book, but the story. And it's called The Secret Garden. Now, it was written by a lady a long time ago. It's about a little girl who used to live in India with her mother and father, and her mother and father died. And she went to live in a great big house on the moors of England with a very strange uncle. And she had no place to play until she found the secret garden. But before she could play in the secret garden, she had to find something else. Who knows what she had to find to get into the secret garden? All right, young lady over here. I'm sorry? A key, you're right. Would you come up and help me, please? Do you see how easy it is? All right. How many of you are familiar with the secret garden? Raise your hands if you've, all right, good. And you remember she had to find a key to get in. What's your name?
Rachel.
Rachel, would you stand right over here? And you're going to be in charge of the secret garden. You made your hands disappear. Phew, scared me. Would you hold this book up so people will remember the secret garden for the sake of the few who don't know about it? All right, now that's an old book about a girl. This is a new book, or fairly new book, about a boy. It's called Get Rich Mitch. Now, Mitch was an 11-year-old boy who suddenly found that he had $250,000 all to himself. Pretty good, huh? But if you read the story, you'll find he had a lot of problems. Now, this isn't as well known as The Secret Garden, but I wonder if there's anyone here at Norwood School who knows something about Rich Mitch and how he became famous. I don't think the first grade or kindergarten would know about it. Yeah, that's a little bit hard for them. Anyone else? All right, let me give you a clue. Let me give you, don't guess. Let me say that. When I ask questions, don't try to guess the answers, because it would, you could guess 88 different answers and they'd all be wrong. It would take so much time. So if you don't know, that's okay. Let me give you a clue. He won a sweepstakes. Who knows what a sweepstakes is? All right? The boy in the orangey shirt over here. He won money, and how do you win a sweepstakes? What do you have to do to win it? You have to send something in. Would you come on down, please? He sent in a coupon in a contest, and he won. All right? Now, Rachel's holding The Secret Garden. What's your name?
Chris.
You don't have any hands either, Chris. Oh, my goodness, it must be cold here this morning. Chris, would you stand over here and hold Get Rich Mitch, so people will remember that book, too. Now, an old book about a girl, a new book about a boy. Sometimes we want to find out about things like dragons. Suppose we want to find out whether dragons are really yellow with pink polka dots? Whether they would rather eat first graders or fourth graders? This is the book to get. But, boys and girls, the magic comes in, and I'm sure you're wondering about that. The magic comes in when you read a book like The Secret Garden. It becomes so real to you that you can almost smell the flowers. Yes, would you hold that, Rachel? And when you read a book like Get Rich Mitch, you can almost spend the money. And when you read a book like the Book of Dragons, you can almost smell the dragon's breath. And that is the magic of books. Now you know. Thank you for helping me very, very much. You did a good job. Thank you, Rachel. Now, okay. Now you see how it's going to work, okay? Oh, by the way, you just did something that reminded me. I forgot to teach you the magic words. There are special magic words for today. We must be ready to learn them and to use them. The magic words are, reading is magic. That's right. Would you try those on for size, please? Reading is magic. Okay. Now, the next thing you must do is, after you say the magic words, you must catch them in the air and then pound them into smithereens this way. All right, let's try it. Reading is magic, and then, good. Okay, well, a couple of people over here in the corner weren't quite sure what I meant by that. Tell you what we'll do. Do you remember the story about the monkey? Well, this is Jimbo. This is Jimbo, and Jimbo, would you show them, when they say reading is magic, what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do, Jimbo? Jimbo, what are they supposed to do? That's better. Okay. All right. Now, okay, Jimbo, that's enough. Now, Jimbo, that's enough. Jimbo, keep quiet. Jimbo. All right, never. Jimbo, I think we'll just let him read the book. All right, Jimbo, that's enough. That is enough. Oh, dear. Okay. There he is. He's going to read the book. All right. Would somebody please say stop? Say it again. That's better. All right, Jimbo. I know the book is upside down, but he can't read anyway. Now, we are going to talk about books, and we're going to talk about magic words, and I'm going to measure the amount of magic that you make in the air. Because when you say reading is magic, and you catch the words, and you pound them like that, you put magic into the air, and this is a magic-ometer. This is to use to see how much magic is in the air. Now, we used this in a school last week, and boys and girls, believe it or not, they did so well, it went right off the top, and it turned into a rabbit. Now, that probably is not going to happen this morning at Norwood School, but you never can tell, all right? So let's try it one more time. Reading is magic. And clap. Oh, do you need practice. It's too early to, well, it said fair and then a little better. We'll have to try that again in a few minutes. But first, I have to tell you that you must not always believe what you read in books. For instance, I went to the Warwick Public Library and I got this book out. It's called Guinea Pigs Don't Read Books. Okay? Now, I happen to like guinea pigs very much. They make good pets, and they're not little and squishy like hamsters and gerbils. They don't bite you, you know. They're very nice pets, and they have cute faces, too. But I brought the book home to read. Now, in my house, I have a box where I keep two things. I keep my magic wand, and I keep books that I want to read. And this is that box. You can see my magic wand in there. Now, when I brought this home, I thought, oh, wait a minute, I haven't done any practicing today. So before I have the fun of reading, I should practice the magic. So I put the book in the box to read later, and I took out my magic wand, and I thought, I think I will change somebody into a frog. And then I thought, no, I better not. Her teacher would be hopping mad if I did that. I think, why don't I try reading the book? But you know, when I went to check the book out, I found it's not true. Guinea pigs do read books. And here was my guinea pig, Rose Ellen, and that's just what Rose Ellen was doing. And here is Rose Ellen. Now, Rose Ellen is a magic guinea pig. She's a white guinea pig, but she can, by magic, change into a black guinea pig. And as you can see, she has 4 legs, 1 on each corner. And she has a very fat tummy, but she does funky dancing. Show them how you funky dance, Rosie. Rose Ellen, come on, funky dance for them. Oh, are you going to do ballet? Oh, well, all right, okay, all right. And would you like to talk to the boys and girls? Do you have anything to say to them? Sometimes she's annoyed. You're mad, aren't you? I can tell. You're giving me your angry look. Rose Ellen, what's the matter? Talk to Daddy. Oh, she said that she was reading a good book all about her relatives, and somebody disturbed her, and she was right in the best part. And you know what it's like, boys and girls, when you're reading a good book and you're right in the best part, and Mom says, turn off the lights, time to go to sleep. You know. So anyway, we'll let Rose Ellen go back and finish reading the book, and in the meantime, we have to do some more choosing of people. The next book I want to talk about is called Betsy Ross and the Flag. Now, this is a biography, and as you know, the biography is a book about someone's life. Now, I wonder if anyone here can tell me what Betsy Ross was famous for. What did she do that made her famous? Yes, I saw your hand first, lady. She made the first American flag. Come on down. That's right, she made the first American flag. Now, what's your name? Erin. Erin? How old are you, Erin? 10. Do you suppose when Betsy Ross was 10 years old and in school, I guess she was in school, it was a long time ago, do you suppose she knew that Erin, almost 200 years later, was going to say, I know who she is? Do you suppose she even thought that? No. No, probably not. However, you never know. There might be a book about you. And 200 years from now, somebody might say, oh, I know why that person's famous. Let's use Erin. What's your last name, Erin? Erin.
Wanek.
Wanek. Let's say there's a book about Erin Wanek, and somebody says, the magician comes in, a handsome fellow coming into school and saying, who can tell me what Erin Wanek is famous? And all the hands go up and they all say, she invented broccoli ice cream, and she's made it in the history books. Anyway, Ellen, would you hold this for me and go on back there, because I'm going to get you 2 helpers. We have such an important, no, just stand right by the table, Ellen. Okay, we need 2 helpers for Erin. Oh, you forgot what I said about sitting up straight, hands in lap? Or did I forget to mention, put your hands in the lap until I ask a question. And then the first hand that I see go up will be the one I'll be looking for. I would like to know what president asked Betsy Ross to make the first American flag. Yes, sir. Not Not Abraham Lincoln. A little farther back than that. Okay? The boy back here with the glasses. George Washington, would you come up and help me, please? Good. Now, this is a very difficult question. Are you ready for a hard one? Thinking caps on for this one, please. All right. I would like to know what George Washington's favorite colors were. All right, the boy in the blue shirt. Red, white, and blue. Come up here and help me. All right. Now, what's your name?
Brian.
Brian, and who are you?
Danny.
Danny and Brian and Aaron and I are going to try to do by magic what Betsy Ross did with a needle and thread. Let's see if it'll work. All right? Now, first of all, you have to come into my laboratory, so step back here, okay? And hands out of pockets. Okay, good. Now, Danny, you come on up here, okay? And Aaron, underneath this cloth of pure gold is the most valuable thing in the school, besides Mrs. Pimentel, the school secretary, of course, and that is a crystal casket. And in this crystal casket is Betsy Ross's very own, what do you think, Danny?
Bonnet.
Bonnet. Let's see. No, it's a little big for that. It's her sewing bag, but it does look a little like a bonnet. It's her sewing bag. But since she's been dead for a couple of 100 years, she hasn't done much sewing lately. But that's what she did use when she did her sewing. We'll put that over here for now. Now, we are going to try to do by magic what she did with a sewing needle and some cloth. Now, to do it, what colors are we going to need, Aaron?
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue, right. So, I'm sorry, your name again?
Brian.
Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. Brian, I'm going to give you a pen to hold. Now, this is the most valuable pen that you've ever held. This writes only red. I want you to hold it in the air so people can keep their eyes on it. All right? All right, now this one, Danny, is almost as valuable. It writes only white, and it's a magic pen. Hold on to that, please. All right? And finally, we have a pen for Aaron, who was my chief helper. And I'm going to ask you, Aaron, to hold this. I'll take the book back now. Just hold that. This is a magic wand pen. It writes any color you want. Any color you name, it will write. Hold on to that, please. Now, let's get down to business. We're going to have to order our things. And, Mrs. Hargraves, do we have an order pad? Because I don't see one on the tray here. Okay. What colors are we going to need? One at a time. Yes.
Red.
Brian?
White.
White and blue. All right. Mrs. Hargraves, did you find the order pad? Where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It fell on the floor. It was the same color as the tile, and Aaron's eyes are much better than mine. We're all set. Okay. Let's see. First of all, the red pen. Nothing happened to this, right? Okay. This is a fountain pen, you see. So you just have to take the pen. Wait a minute. Wait, no, that's... Brian, what'd you do with my pen?
Nothing.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, now, wait a minute. All right, let me see if I can fix it. All right, here we go. Brian! Oh, for goodness sakes, Brian, there's something absolute. Now, this is a very valuable pen. You're getting my hands all dirty, and now I'm sure this is going to be fun. Ah! Brian! Oh, he got a bang out of that one. Well, all right, so much for the red pen. The white one. Luckily, this is a ballpoint pen, so nothing could possibly happen here. We're going up. Danny, are you two related? Honestly, isn't that? Oh, for goodness sakes, look. Oh, Aaron, I am so glad you came today. Would you, this is a cap, this is the magic pen, writes any color you want. Would you take the cap off of that, please? Good. My ears were itchy. No, all right, put the cap on the other end. And here is our pad. Okay, and right up here, first of all, we need some red. So right up here, some red.
Red?
Yeah.
It's black.
That's black. Yeah. Now remember, this writes, it's a magic pen. It writes any color you want. See, red. R-E-D. It writes red, it writes W-H-I-T-E, white, and it writes blue, B-L-U-E, blue. It writes any, did you think she was a magician or something? All right, there we have the three colors. Now, we are going to take the colors, and incidentally, that's one you can try tonight when you go home. Get an older brother or sister who thinks they're pretty smart. Pick up a pen or pencil at home and pull the same trick, okay? I can write, this pen writes any color. I bought it in the school store today, and it's just a magical pen, and try it out. Let me know how you make out. All right, now, we have the orders. We're going to put the order for the cloth into the crystal casket. Now we're going to come forward. Aaron, would you put one hand at the bottom and one hand on that side? Danny, come in close, back here a little bit. Put one hand in back and one hand on that side. All right, move back a little bit farther so that Brian can come in. Put one hand on top. Why don't you do the other one, Brian? I think it'll be easier.
Okay.
That's right. And that one over there. And step back. So 6 hands and 6 sides. Nothing could possibly get in or out unless someone said the magic words, which are reading. Look, our order is right here, and it has been filled. It has red. Would you hold that for me, Brian? It has white. Would you hold that for me, Danny? And it has blue. Would you hold that for me? Thank you very much. That's just what we needed. Now, at this point, I'm going to send 2 of you back to your seats, because I have to keep my chief assistant for this one is Aaron, but Danny and Brian, you did a wonderful job, I think. And my pens will never be the same, but that's all right. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. Now, the reason I'm keeping you, the reason that I am keeping Aaron up here is because she is going to become my display rack. Do you mind? Have you been a display rack before today?
No.
No. All right. Now, what I'd like you to do is take your hair and just flip it over so that it's around in front of you. And I'm going to ask you to stand over here and turn. Now, of course, in magic, you never turn your back to the audience because you never know what they'll throw. But in this case, it's okay. Turn around, face the other way, because I'm going to put these handkerchiefs in your shirt like this, the red, the white, and the blue. Wait a minute, now, I'm hanging them so they can see them. Oh, just pull your hair out that way. That's it. There we go. Oh, okay, there she is, Miss America. Okay, we are now going to do by magic what Betsy Ross did with a needle and thread. And we're going to use her sewing bag. Now, I'm going to take the 3 handkerchiefs, put them in here, and you'll need a new magic word for this one. Are you ready for a new one? Okay. The new one is blues-de-back. Would you try that out, please? Blues-de-back. Very good. Now, I'm going to take the red, the white, and the blue, put them in the bag. When I do that, I'll tell you when. You all say blues-de-back. When you hear blues-de-back, Aaron, you may turn around and face the audience, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to take the red, the white, and the blue, put them in the bag, and say, everyone says, blues-de-back. Good. And Aaron can turn right around because we put, no, it's not. No. It's not forgot the blue. It's blues-de-back. Would you all tell them the magic word, please? Blues-de-back. Good. Now, everyone has said the magic words. We have placed the red, the white, and the blue handkerchiefs in the bag. No. What is the magic word, please? Yes, of course. Some of you are getting it mixed up. All right. Now we reach in and believe it or not, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else who sneaked in, we have an American flag. And there. What happened? Oh, Aaron. Why didn't you tell me? I guess I didn't listen. Oh, boy. Well, there is no way I am going to walk down Norwood Avenue with a flag that looks like that. I mean, people would say, ho, ho, ho. I'll tell you, do you mind trying one more time? You're not supposed to do the same thing twice. But I'm going to put these back in the bag. Let's try the magic word one more time. That's the teacher with the scarf and the... Yes, I was watching you very carefully. Your lips did not move. What is the magic word, please? Blues-de-back. Is she right? Yes. Aaron, would you reach into the bag and let's see if we've done it this... What? Open it up. Open it. Oh, you have done it, boys and girls. That is amazing. Wonderful. Da, 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 da. Very good. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much. You did a great job. And that just goes to prove, boys and girls, that reading is magic. you need practice. All right. Tell you what we're going to do. You'll notice, we'll try it, all right, one more time, we'll try it again in a few minutes. You'll notice Mrs. Hargraves has just brought a cage on. And this cage used to belong to a very special magic rabbit. And his name was, who knows? Bunnicula. Bunnicula. And Bunnicula has had several books written about him. Bunnicula was written by Deborah and James Howe, and he's a favorite animal friend of a lot of boys and girls. Who can tell me what was special about Bunnicula? Why was he a particularly interesting animal? All right, so the girl over here with the headband. A vampire rabbit, that's right. Would you come up and help me, please? He was a vampire rabbit. Now, there have been several books about him. This one is called Scared Silly, and this one is Bunnicula, and there have been other books about him, too. What's your name?
Melissa.
Melissa, would you stand over here? Okay. Now, some people are just meeting Bunnicula for the first time. We'll let you hold that for a minute, just so they can get, oh, maybe this one is the one they're more likely to see now. Just hold both of those, because those are both Bunnicula books, and kind of show them to the kids, all right? All right? Bunnicula was a vampire rabbit. Now, Melissa, let's find out how he knew, how the people in the family found out he was a vampire rabbit. What happened to the vegetables?
They became white.
They became white. See, there was a cat and dog in the family. They did not like this new animal moving in. And in the morning, when they checked the refrigerator, they found that the tomatoes, instead of being big and plump and red and juicy, were shriveled and white, and they had two little tooth marks in them. Bunnicula, the vampire rabbit, had sucked the color right out of the vegetables. So, that's the idea of Bunnicula. There's a lot more to the story. Now, did you read this one, Melissa?
No, I never read it.
Oh, that's a good one. You'll like it. That's a pretty new one. Now, we're going to, this is his cage, as I said, but he disappeared around last Halloween. I haven't seen him since. So I use the cage for other things now. And we're going to ask you, Melissa, to try something out. This is a very special device. It's made in Connecticut, and it's called a Winkopolis. Yes. And it's used for mind reading. And we're going to try it on Melissa right now. Here it goes. There. That's the way it works. All right? The very simple device. Now, Melissa, it is now in the receiving mode. Would you go over and stand on the other side of the yellow dragon table, and if the dragon starts to sneeze, duck. All right? Now, what we're going to do is this. I am going to make use of a magic card and a magic marker. And I'm going to think of a word. Come on in a little bit closer to the table, Melissa. Come on in. No, they won't really sneeze. I was only fooling you. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do. I am going to think of a word, Melissa, and it could be any word in the world. And there are zillions of words in the world, right? I'm going to think of one and one only, and I'm going to write it on this card. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That's a good one. All right, I've written it on the card. Now, no one knows except me what word I've written here. Do you know what word I've written here, Melissa? Do you know what word I've written here?
On.
On? You're right. You're right. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. Now, Melissa, I could have written any word I wanted to. Was there any other word you thought it might be?
No.
No! That's amazing! That is absolutely astounding. You were right. And Melissa, I could have written any other word I wanted to, couldn't I have? Yes! Yes, I could have written any word I wanted to. And Melissa, there is no doubt whatsoever that the Winkopolis is working perfectly today. That means that we can now try another experiment. You have received my thoughts very nicely. Now we're going to see if you can send some thoughts. Come on over here so the people in the cheap seats can see what you're doing. We're going to turn this around. We're going to reverse this. We're going to change the channels and adjust the fine-tuning. And now you are in the sending mode. And to prove that, we're going to use a couple of things. This is called the Look It Up Book of Presidents. Okay? And I'm going to ask you to just hold on to that. You can look through it. And then I'm going to use some crayons. Now, these crayons were given to me by a boy named Harold. I wonder if anybody knows what his favorite color was. Yes, purple, you're right. Harold and the purple crayon. I bet you all read that one time. Or your kindergarten teachers. Right, I thought you had. And you know